What's good, everyone? It's your boy Puns, and we're back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a soul beat for Nba Youngboy. This will be a beat that can be found on something like Massa or Slime Cry. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into FL Studio and get right to it. Yeah, I love that saxophone. So I started off with that sax sample, and I got it from the Nitro Audio's Essentials kit. And what I did is I layered some sounds under it, and I added drums. So that was the main melody. The first sound I used was Keyscape. I used a Rhodes and I used the LA Custom percussive preset. Let me show you what the MIDI sounds like. Yeah, so this is a 1-6-5 chord progression. Kept it basic, have them playing for 2 bars each. Yeah, so for effects we have a Valhalla vintage verb. These are my settings. We have a free delay 3 with default settings. The mix level turned to 6% and I EQ'd out some low end. The next sound we have is a piano, and I made a top line with this piano. I used Alicia's keys, and I used the Alicia's keys in it preset. This is what the MIDI looks like. Yeah, so for these soul beats, you want to use the blues scale for the top lines, the organs, as well as maybe, I wouldn't say the chord progression, but you definitely want to use it for top lines, organs, and maybe guitar as well if you're recording your own guitar. It just helps give it that soul feel. Now as for effects on this top line, I use the same effects as the Rhodes. I have a Valhalla vintage verb with the mix turned to 16%, a fruity delay 2, mix turned to 6%, and I EQ'd out some low end and added some compression as well. The next sound we have is a bass line, and I use the Scarby Rickenbacker bass, one of the most goated basses of all time, and this is what the MIDI looks like. Let's hear what it sounds like. You can also use the blues scale for the bass line as well. I would recommend doing that, but for this specific beat I chose not to. The next sound we have is a violin from Omnisphere, and it's called Noir Violins. What this does is it adds tension without making it sound dark, and I have it playing for 1 bar, as you can see, each. And I play the top lines of the chords, and sometimes I might use other notes as well, whatever sounds right to my ear. And as for effects, I have reverb on it at 16%, and I EQ'd out some low end. The next sound I have is a organ, and I use the Basic Gospel 3 from Vintage Organs. And this is what the MIDI looks like. I'll play for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, so what I basically did is I used the chord progression from the Rhodes and I pitched it up an octave. I also added these transition notes just to add a little piano, like an organ roll, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure what the term is, but for effects, I have some reverb on it. With the mix turned to 17%, and I EQ'd out some low end. The next thing I did is I added some brass, and I also added some wall guitars as well. This is what they sound like. Yeah, so with these you want to fill out some space, and you want it to sound like there's enough room for the drums and the artist as well. So you definitely don't want to overdo it, but I like to keep around 2 or 3 wall guitars and 1 brass sound as well. You can also add other miscellaneous sounds if you want. Those are usually found in these NBA Youngboy beats. And that's pretty much all I did for the melody. Now let's get to the drums. Yeah, so I added a 808 roll at the end. It's a basic 808 pattern though. And the next thing I do is I have 2 claps layered. Basic clap pattern. For the hi-hats, I have a 2-step hi-hat with some rolls. I like to keep the hi-hats pretty simple for these kind of beats. And I layered the open hat with the 808. Something typically found in the West Coast. It just goes hard for these kind of beats as well, and also for Baton Rouge beats or even Pain beats. And then I have 4 perks. I have a laser, a clav, 2 shakers, and of course you gotta have the kick, so I have that as well. I'll play you the drums so you can hear what they sound like all together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more, because you know we'll be having 1 to 2 videos coming out every single week. We'll be doing more paint tutorials, soul tutorials, and Baton Rouge tutorials as well. We'll also be doing videos covering other artists, and I may switch it up and do some R&B videos in the future as well, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And until next time, peace.